Hi there, beautiful people. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. It's around 2:15 here right now. I just finished a list, and I just love doing this list because this is gonna get, I guess, views because this is one of those top 20 lists that people wait for. So here and I'm gonna do a lot of lists before the December month of December ends, and we are hopefully heading towards a new year with better hopes. 2023. 2022, I want to do sort of like a recap of fragrances releases, not so much. Some of the reviewers I'll talk about, and what is the community like right now. I'll talk about the scenario in Bangladesh, how this is evolving, and also how the winter is. I'm going to give you an overall sort of like an update, and I want to talk to you. I don't want to rush this, and I don't have particularly any topic in mind. I like to take my time sometimes because I haven't been well. I've been restless, and I want to share a few words with you. Okay, so if it's okay with you, you can watch. If you feel like this is not your jam, you can just skip the video. I will not mind. But here's me talking to you guys. Okay, so hopefully you're doing good, and your life is not having so much trouble. Life is always full of trouble. I just noticed when I start with that point, we are only humans, so let's share. So there are a lot of things that we don't talk about. We talk about our success, we talk about our happiness, we talk about what we gained, but you will not see people sharing with you so much of their other side of, sadness, loneliness, emptiness, depression. And from time to time, I feel, when I actually am in the suffering side, there are two zones. Sometimes I'm flying high in life, I'm just like so happy, high with life, and, not caring much. Then the other side comes, like, you'll not do so well financially, you'll not do so well, you'll do some stupid mistakes in your life, or you'll overspend and you'll make some wrong decisions, mistakes. I suffer some, I enjoy some. This is how the life is, supposedly. But then let me talk about a little bit about me. So I'll make an example out of me. So how was the year as a fragrance collector, reviewer, or a Fragcomm member? One by one, as a fragrance reviewer, I would say alhamdulillah, like by grace of God, I have gained a lot of stuff this year, like nice comments, a lot of blessing from people. I bought some great fragrances, and I cannot complain anymore. I've gotten like some really rare to find fragrance like I could review. So that's a dream for a reviewer. Okay, I'm very happy with my work, and I did push a lot of videos. Every month I do try to do per day about 2.5 videos, like 2.6 on average. That's my ratio. So let me say, safe to say 2. Okay, so that's not easy work. Some of you may feel, oh, he's boring sitting here. Yes, I am, but the amount of time I spend, the work behind it doesn't really show. So I believe same for every reviewer. I don't want to be like I'm the only one who's working hard, nobody else is. Very happy to have Mark back in the community, Robe08. So happy because this guy, he goes missing for such long time, sometimes over a year, and I look for this dude. I'm like, sometimes I don't follow some of his work because some of the fragrances he's reviewing, and they are not available in my country. Super niche, super dark. I am not interested in those. But when he reviews some of the known fragrances, I want to see his input, especially on the designers, and I want to see what he says. And he breaks down fragrances like anything. So like, he's the pro, he's the boss man. So happy he returned, and he's making content for you and me. Okay, so good for the world. I'm very happy that this is happening. But also as a reviewer, I noticed some of our other fellow reviewers like Ross Carlos. He's a beast, He keeps pushing content. He will go and buy like handful, like bag full of fragrances. That's the kind of energy we need. So despite a lot of criticism, sometimes people are not really the kindest to these people, other reviewers. They are going to bash them, troll them, but they still make great content. So I'm very happy. A lot of the reviewers were getting big numbers, reaching your milestone. I'm very happy for you. And for me, there was a time I thought this year early, I thought in January, the way I was going last year, my subscription base was very, very good. Like I would get a lot of subscribers over like 2-3 days, but now it's slowed down sort of, and I'm struggling to get 100,000. Some of you say, yeah, I deserve it. I don't know about deserving, but it would be a number that would make me happy to have a silver play button, because it's one of the things, like material things I want. But it's another thing, but it's okay. I keep working. When I get it, I get it. I don't want to do something extraordinary to get it overnight, It will be sweet if I can get it. Otherwise, it's okay. It's God's wish. He gave me a lot more than what he didn't give. So as a collector, I'll tell you, it has been a good year. As I told you, I bought many fragrances, many fragrance I did not need. And sorry, putting some Vaseline because winter, you get dry lips. So some of you be like, what you using? Yeah, this stuff. Maybe not good. Perhaps many of you don't like it, but I do. It helps. Yeah, see. But then, it has been a great year. So let's say you are watching and you are a collector, you don't review. How do you find your year? Let me know in the comment section. I'll read. But I feel whatever you get, you should say thank God. Why? Because you could have gotten much worse. A lot of people cannot even buy a fragrance in a month because they are struggling so much financially. So if you got some great watches, great shoes, great fragrances, you had great dinner here and there, you had good times, your family is still with you, you should say thank God. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I also get frustrated when I cannot get what I want, but end of the day I say thank God for everything. Okay, so as a collector, this has been a great year. I got great fragrances, and I'm maybe perhaps not the uber niche. Some people want some uber niche. I want some great designers, some great Middle Eastern perfumes like Ajmal, Afnan. I'm reviewing. Very happy. I met some great people in a fragrance fair. I met a lot of great souls who are great. So I think we are in a better place in terms of where our fragrance community is. In Bangladesh, we have many groups. It's not always that everybody's a friend or everybody's a well-wisher, but then, everybody is interested about fragrances. There are a lot more more members than before. So it's a good thing. When it's growing, it's a good thing. So coming to some of the reviewers, I actually felt a bit disappointed. I don't want to make this like a whining point, but some of the reviewers lost their mojo. I don't really find their work interesting anymore. I don't find they're working for passion. Perhaps it's a bit sad thing. Maybe they cannot afford fragrances anymore, or they just stop working. Maybe they lost interest. Okay, it made me sad because there are some great fragrance reviewers who I used to follow. I used to really admire and look up to them, but they just don't do that kind of work no more. Okay, so it has been sad. Their focus is mostly on other stuff. Other priorities. So we are losing out on good content, I feel. And there was a time compared to 2016-17, there was a huge, like a fragrance scenario. People hyped up about reviewers, Jeremy, whatever was happening. Good times. When a brand new release, like a hot new release. Nowadays, not that many hot new releases, I guess, thanks to Corona and the war. So the economy went down sort of. So let me talk about a little bit of economy. You can relate if possible, I think so. My page was not doing so well. Last 3 months, I told you I'm giving update of my life. So if you're bored, please, you can stop the video. I'll not mind, but I'll share with you as a human. There are a few months I've been restless. Last, think 6 months, I haven't been able to sleep like peacefully. Like I used to sleep really nice before this year, like last year also. Some of the nights I couldn't sleep. I slept like 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe whole night I'm up. I sleep the daytime, I get depressed. There was hardly any business. I have a page. So just like me, the big businesses lost business in Bangladesh due to many things. Inflation, fuel prices have gone high. You can relate. And our tensions have gone high. We have a lot more responsibilities, a lot of bills to pay. And I actually, got a car somewhere in the middle of the year, and I have to have extra expenses. The car drinks petrol. And this year I have to pay the tax and all that. So it's okay, when you enjoy some privileges, you also have to bear the cost. But when more responsibilities come, you naturally expect like to work better or do better job, earn better living. It didn't happen this year. I spent a lot more than I earned, which sounds like a really bad thing because I couldn't, resist. I wanted to put content in my channel. I want to put so many reviews so people are happy. They can get to watch every day some review, just like a news channel. It made me happy, but what happened was the content sometimes did not really do so well. I did not earn so much from YouTube. It was okay. Sometimes I did good, sometimes it was average. On average, it was okay. But many of my friends, they lost jobs, they lost business, they had factories, they shut down, they had to shut down. So life has not been easy. A lot of my friends who used to use fragrance in our community sort of quit. They don't spend any more on the perfumes. They have family responsibilities, right? So talking serious things about life, the addiction doesn't really do you any favor. At one point, you feel so sad and you just start selling your fragrances off. I have done that. I took strong decision because I have too many fragrances, right? So I have to make space, even to create space for my room. So as a whole, I would say, yeah, be happy, be everything. But at the same time, If you cannot play the game anymore, don't force yourself. Like, you don't have to impress others. If you don't like it, take a break. If you find it a bit too difficult, take a break. I could not take a break, unfortunately, because I'm the guy who leads the community, okay? And I would say so. I lead my Bangladeshi community from my side. Many of the other people, they do, but I'm a reviewer. If I quit, if I walk away from my group, they'll all die, okay? The whole community, the interest, everything, it will definitely be reduced. And I didn't want that, because I started the hype, you know. I want people to go out there and try fragrance, and they mention, hey Joy bhai, thank you so much for your recommendation, I got this. And some of the not Bangladeshis, foreign members as well, I work for everybody. And I couldn't just take a break. Sometimes I took a break for 3 days, 5 days tops, but I had to come back because this is work, right? So in that process, you know, what happens is mental health, physical well-being, everything is sacrificed a little bit. Some of you may say, take a break, go somewhere. I cannot go anywhere. I cannot go anywhere. You may say, it's your preference, it's your choices, you make priorities. I prioritize my work, and sadly, that's the truth. Yeah, maybe I'm a bit greedy to make a better earning because I have a lot of expenses. I like to eat good food, stuff like that. But sometimes, you know, when I thought of no business not doing so well, it didn't return as much as I wanted to. The videos didn't get so much views. I got depressed, you know, and at times, sorry, man, I had to cough on your ear, but it's not been a great, relaxing last few months. I have been very tense. I did not share all this with you. Some of you may be like, no, don't share your sickness with us. Do not share. I actually ignore those comments because they don't really care for me. I care for people who are kind, who are caring about me, who watches my content. Some of you are not the nicest human beings. You know that very well. You never ever spare anybody. You just want to criticize all day. You never give credit even if people do something great. No. But, you know, sometimes I just want to take a break, sleep better. You know, like when I'm not well, I went through surgery and all that. But now I'm focusing more on like trying to manage my work better. This is what's bothering me. Sometimes I lag behind, you know, sometimes I have orders I do not do. I have delay. Sometimes I do not clean my bottles or take like a, you know, expense. I don't write down stuff. So I lost track. So I decided to do work, okay, and then relax. Particular time I just save myself for relax and resting, which you should do as well. It will help you. If you finish your work on time, if you don't have any pending works or bills or loans, you'll feel much better already. And then try to appreciate everything good you have. Perhaps you're going through a bit low time, right? My humble request is don't feel bad. Some people don't have legs. Some people don't have, they live with sickness, cancer. They're not going to leave. They don't have their parents. They don't have a family. They don't have a car. They don't even have a bike. They don't have a home. You know, there's some people, a lot of people are homeless. They don't get to eat nicely. So I don't want to go to that extreme, but at times, you know, I look back, I just lay back. I'm like, no, I'm being too ungrateful. I shouldn't be mad. Sometimes I got so mad, but then I'm like, no, I have done good, you know, so far, and then I have everything intact despite all the bad things, fights, everything. I'm okay. So I would say ask your friends, if you see them not in the action anymore or you care for someone, please ask them how they are doing. Perhaps it's not the money that you can help them with. Perhaps it's just sitting with them and talk. And very important, I want to do this one thing. When I was thinking yesterday, what's the meaning of life? When the Christmas holidays, I was doing the videos and people cheering, they're having good meal with their family. There are a lot of people who are elderly citizens, you know, they're like senior citizens and they're very lonely. I went to UK one time, 2 times actually, but one time I went, there are some older gentlemen or ladies, they live in one house with their cat and they don't have any friends, no one come to wish them. Perhaps they see their children once a year for Christmas only. And this is, I'm talking about Christians, I'm talking about also our religion, Muslims, everywhere. You know, it doesn't matter which religion you're in, but it's very sad, you know, these people get very lonely. And think of it, when you get actually a bit older, then you start thinking of it rather than just running all day. When people get old, they become lonely. They lose their friends, family. They don't have that many people they can interact with, and their whole cultures around them, they change. They cannot watch TV no more. They don't understand what's going on. Their hearing is not so good. Their vision is not so good. So even if you don't have your parents with you, if you have a neighbor, please ask them how they are doing, help them, offer them a cup of tea, just go and spend some time. I'm just saying, as a human being, you know, do your part, okay? You can go and feed the, you know, orphans, you know, poor people. Perhaps a sandwich you are just eating and they just ask for it, give it to them, you know. You can afford another sandwich, they maybe cannot, right? So these ways, you know, I miss being a good person sometimes. Like I used to do a lot of work when I was not doing fragrance work, not running all day. I would go out there, talk to people, a lot of socializing, but nowadays it's always about me. I became selfish. Of course, I have to put the work, But sometimes I do feel like being a good human being, if you can just spend some time with these people, just reserve some time for others, you'll take so much more than what you're giving. Perhaps you're doing like a charity of $1,000. This sometimes you'll feel like, when you give, God gives you back in many ways. You will feel so much happier. Okay, so not trying to inspire you so much, but please bear in mind that other people during holiday season, when you share a meal, it becomes so much more fun. When you give to others, it feels better. Okay, I'll try to learn myself as well. Last but not least, I want to talk about one last thing and then I go. Hopefully it will not be a very debating point. What I thought about it, what's wrong with this world? Many of you ask, think, what's wrong with this world? Why people are so mad? Why people are so corrupt? I've been facing this in Bangladesh and I personally don't want to stay here anymore. I'm not the most mature guy. You guys know that. In my Facebook, I always write rash comments. But one thing I cannot take is when people are not being good to other people. They're hurting others. And what's wrong with the world is us. When I say us, not me and you only, perhaps the whole society as a whole. A lot of corruption goes on, a lot of way people steal from others, they take their land, they steal from their bank. A lot of these things happen. And we don't really care because it's not bothering us, it's not our problem. That's how we think. Unless we get hurt or get hit, we don't really care. And we say yes, okay to corruption. And that's the moment we just make the biggest, I would not just say mistake, it's the biggest crime ever. If you just watch, observe, and you say nothing, you don't protest. Imagine someone get hit by a car on the road and someone ran away. And you just go past that victim and you do nothing about it. You are a criminal, sir. I'm sorry to say, you are not caring for others. You are just not good enough as a human being. So I want to say, what's wrong with us? Why so much war? Is it just because religious differences, color differences, beliefs? Nowadays, I see things like it. I used to watch a lot of Indian films, movies, Bollywood. I used to be the biggest fan, those who follow. Nowadays, I don't watch. There's just nothing, absolute trash, content. There's just no story. There's no morals. There's nothing to learn. There's no nothing to sort of appreciate. Just give me a second. Sorry. And then all there is that hatred. Recently in India, this thing's happening. It's not really my business, but people are hating, asking for boycotting a film because it's done by a Muslim, one of the biggest actors, Shah Rukh Khan. And I'll tell you one thing, people are so ignorant nowadays. So ignorant, everything they find sensitive for their religious sentiments. Is there any bigger religion than humanity itself? If you live in a foreign country, you can understand better. This is no longer your country, it's no longer your culture. People have other multi-cultures, people living in. They have high tolerance. This is why you have to have culture exchanges, I personally feel like I want to move to Canada sometime soon because I can't take this anymore. So much hatred, so much people are trolling others and they're just always at each other's, like this, and they're making not much development themselves, okay? Why? Why don't you be better human being, make a better living, make some difference in the society, do some contribution rather than always commenting on others when they're trying to make a difference, Why hating someone when they are just Muslim and you are not Muslim, or the other way around? Why do you always feel I'm the best, other ones are worst, everybody's a sinner, I'm telling you from my perspective, we do have this kind of mindset, so we have to come out of it as a whole, and we are the one who have to make the differences, Today I want to do this video instead of doing another fragrance review. If you ever watch me, if you ever feel like I'm a guy that makes sense and you sort of echo my sentiment, please try to make a difference by being a different soul. That's what we need to change the world. We cannot change political parties, we cannot change government, we cannot change anything else, but we can make a difference in the society by being a better human being. If we have empathy towards others, if we help each other, life will be so much easier. Perhaps people will not be so much depressed and they will not feel not loved. Okay, so do care. When people even hurt you, forgive them. And learn one thing or two from others. When people show kindness, I see those videos, I cry. That's when I know I'm human, right? So I feel I'm not doing enough when people are doing better job, right? So yeah, this is the last point I want to say before the year ends. Perhaps I'll do a New Year's video, but please be better, be a good human being, and when you're not feeling happy, live for others. You'll see happiness will hit you. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Love you all. Take care, and hopefully you enjoyed the other video too. Take care. Bye bye.